Hello, everybody. I am SunPsychic Jean, and look who I have with me here today, Gerald
Mhm.
from TarotStache, and we are large and in charge here. We are filling up the entire screen.
We are. We are. We decided to get really close to you.
I love that. I love that. It's really nice to see everybody here. We thank you all for coming. And Gerald and I are looking forward to doing this mediumship show with everybody
Mhm.
here today. And I wanted to talk a little bit about, I know that Gerald, that you and Wisdom Seeker Joan and I did a show on joy as a strategy.
Yes.
And previous to that, we had a show with the Crone Zone that we were talking about laughter, joy, and
Mhm.
humor with spiritual readings and things, and how it raises your vibration. And then after the show with you, you and Joan, I did a show on unicorns. I'm not sure if you had a chance to see that yet.
I haven't
It
seen
was
that yet.
it was quite phenomenal. And I have to tell you guys, spirit validates, and it validates so much with us. And it's not always in the physical, it's not always in the 3D. But I have to say, it was within 2 weeks of that show, it was probably within 1 week, but I can't remember right now, that I found this. I found this. It is a unicorn, and it is a ceramic unicorn. It has no scratches, no dents, no cracks, no nothing. And it was just sitting there on the shelf waiting for me. I found this at a secondhand shop. It was $1.99.
I love that.
And it is for sure a complimentary validation from my spirit guides after doing that unicorn show. It showed up in the physical after doing the unicorn show.
Yes.
Isn't this just magnificent? Now, I haven't named him yet, but
Okay.
I will. And I love that he's sitting and he has his knee up and he has that little chin, that little hair on his chin. I
That's
love that.
great. That's
And
beautiful.
make sure everybody can see that the unicorn, and that the horn is like a yellow, like a almost like angelic kind of a yellow, like a glow yellow
Mhm.
on that unicorn horn. But isn't he magnificent? And look at how beautiful his eyes are.
That's amazing.
And you can't even see the detail on it. It is 10 times better in person. I couldn't believe it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I'm like, thank you, guides. Thank you, spirit guides. I think it was waiting there for me to go and get it. But it's one of my favorite things now. Isn't that amazing?
I really like that. I love when spirit validates us. I also think it's wonderful when we're open to having spirit validate us.
Mm,
It's just great. You were like, "Oh my gosh." And, you know, that's perfect. That is perfect. I love that. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And when you can feel it, you can feel it. It's quite amazing. It's very magical. And to have them come into this 3D reality and to present a validation for me. The one other time that I can remember that this happened, I was during my shamanic training, my shamanic energy training, and we were meeting our spirit animal for the first time, and my spirit animal was a hawk. And I met my spirit animal and we did a journey together. And then they said, okay, now that you've met your spirit animal, you ask within the next 2 to 3 weeks to have some sort of validation in your reality, whether it's hawk cleaners or hawk movers, or, if you see something that validates that hawk is around you. And on the TV, this is back when we used to watch the news, they said that there was a hawk that was caught in the Library of Congress. Now, I live in the DC area, and the Library of Congress is right downtown. And it was a Cooper's hawk. And I'm like, that's you. That's my hawk. That I could.
Well, okay.
How's that for validation? I'm telling you, it is so very magical. It is so it's
Mhm.
so very beautiful, and it every day is all inspiring, and I'm just really grateful. But I'm happy to have the opportunity to share that with everybody today.
That's
Aw,
wonderful.
hi, Linda Kennedy. Linda Kennedy came by and saw me at the psychic fair that I was at recently in this area. She came over and she came by just to give me a hug and say hello with her husband. It was nice to see them both, and I thank you for coming out and supporting me. And it's a wonderful show. It's a nice outfit, and I think it's close to her house, like in her area. So it was
Sure. That's
yeah.
great.
hmm
That's
yeah,
great.
it was nice to see everybody.
Mhm.
Um, I was on earlier this morning with Akila B. I'm not sure if anybody has had
I
an
missed that.
opportunity.
I missed
We're
that.
Yeah, she's a busy lady, and so we are coming on a little bit earlier than expected for Saturdays and Sundays. And yeah, so her and I were together earlier today, and we talk about raising your vibration so early in the morning, but not early in the morning, but first thing in your day. And
Mhm.
we were doing a couple of readings, and then wham, we were both up in that altered state of consciousness. And she's like, Jean, could you feel that? I'm like, oh yeah, I can feel that.
Yes. Yeah, and that's a really wonderful thing to do first thing in the morning because, we've let things go, we've had our dreams and stuff like that. So that's why a lot of times they say you should be doing meditation or exercise first thing in the morning because it really sets the tone.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So,
Lovely. So what's been going on with you, Gerald, that you want to share?
well, I have it's been getting chilly here in Ohio. So, it's sweater weather, which I'm very happy about. I'm a knitter, so that's wonderful. And I'm looking what's great is and I was talking to Jean about this backstage. I have got some really nice shows coming up with in the sense of thinking about well-being and mental health and doing things that will help us individually and sharing stories. I'm really really looking forward to that. So
That's
it's great.
very much needed. And, you know, it's not a crunch time. Some people might feel like it's a crunch time. It's just anticipation, and it's not easy for all of us to deal with sometimes. So we want to, be as supportive as we possibly can. So
Absolutely.
as the title of the show demonstrates, we will be Gerald and I are offering mediumship readings
Mhm.
and messages from your loved ones. And if you would kindly put the name and the relation, and you please use caps and emojis, and the questions will be chosen at random. So, not only this, but when we are choose you, we ask that you're close by because we want to go in a little bit deeper, and we may have some questions for you, or we
Mhm.
may need some direction or validation from you. And it's going to be like an interactive kind of a reading, almost like if you're doing a one-on-one reading with us. And we're going to be developing the each question or each connection, developing it in a little bit further, a little bit more expansive, as much as this as your loved ones on the other side want to share. It's not going
Mhm.
to be this little 5 minute, not that
Yeah.
it's not going to be the 5 minute version. It's going to be, we're going to be a little bit more invested.
Yes.
So, so nice to see everybody. And Christine Thomas is here. CJ is here. Jazz on Anya, instead of Anja. And Garnett is here. I love he puts the blue jeans. Every time he says hello to me, he puts the blue jeans there. And he says, I've got a unicorn friend and it's on a bag. Oh, wow. I
Mm.
love it. I love it. I hope you were there for that unicorn show as well. I love those unicorns. Jill Steninan is here, and Linda Kennedy, I said hello. Venus is here. We had an amazing connection with
Oh,
Venus, and she's a fellow Marylander.
very
Nice to
nice.
see you. Nice to see you. Miss Sherlock is here, and thank you. And Emily, also nice. I think Emily we had a nice connection with too. Um, and sweetly morbid bear. So nice to see you. Look at that panda, how cute.
Mhm.
Tea Garden Chicken. Tea Garden Chicken, I think, I'm not sure if you know, but when we were doing the Psychics for Democracy, you won a reading from me. You don't have to have a reading from me, but if you're interested, you could just email SunPsychic Jean or SunPsychic at Hotmail, and or go to my website and you can sign up and contact me there.
Nice.
If you're interested, it's up to you. I know some people just wanted to participate at, but yeah, and so the winners were selected just from who was in the chat.
I
So,
see. Hmm. Yeah.
and Cindy is here. Look, Kelly S from Mystic Nick's Store is here. Hi, Kelly. We're going to
Hi,
be getting
Kelly.
together again soon. A Little Twisted is here. Nice to see you. I don't know. I think I got everybody. I'm at the bottom here. Okay. All
Yes.
right. Oh, good. Tea Garden says she's going to email me. Oh, good. Yeah. And I know it was hard to be there when they called out your name, so just wanted to remind you. Wonderful. All right.
Mhm.
So, Gerald, I'm going to let you choose the first question. And again, we just ask that you're present and able to, um, you know, provide feedback as much
Yes.
as possible.
So right now we've got 10 questions. And as Jean has said, we're going to go a little deeper. So we're not going to quick roll these things through. So we want to get that connection. So let me see. Um, I'm actually, okay. Actually, how about Christine Thomas? Would love to hear from my mom, named Jean, 129, 1916, born Glasgow, Scotland, passed away 7/8, 2009.
Sounds great. Thank you, Christine. Mhm. So I feel like she's a very proud woman of her heritage. I feel like she does have an accent, a little bit of her brogue still comes through. And I feel like she felt like she had a job to do raising the children and taking care of the household. She was not serious, but she was determined. She had a very determined type of energy about her, and she's showing me that. Mhm. I think it is the Scottish that have the horses with the hair on the hoofs, because she's saying that she likes my unicorn, but we have the large black horses with the hair on the hooves. Aren't they the
Mhm.
Scot something about Scottish about that? But she's showing me she's saying she's like comparing. Oh, you think that's good?
Yeah.
Okay, so how about you, Joe?
Oh, she said yes, the Clydesdales.
Oh, yes. That's what
What's
I'm thinking of.
What's funny, what I'm getting from your mom is she's showing me her ankles for some reason. And you just mentioned the horses and the hair. And so but she's showing me her ankles and something about her ankles in the sense that she was a very intuitive person, and very intuitive, and had this it's almost like her ankles kept things going. It's like she carried the weight of the family and she kept her ankles strong, is what I'm feeling. And it's just like, it's like, okay. And she was very happy to do that. Um, and of course, there's this thing about aprons, and she's got her hair curled up in a very particular way. Um, so it's sort of a twirl. I don't know if she did braiding with your hair or something like that, but that's what's coming through. So, um, but yeah, well, I'd love to hear from mom. I,
So I just feel her coming through and saying that determination is what she had to do. It was part of um, her calling, so to speak. But she says that we did a lot of celebrating as well, and lifting your spirits and celebrating of life. I feel like she saw. I think obviously she lived through the depression, but I feel like she saw some, uh, you know, societal tragedies in her lifetime. Obviously, she lived through, the wars and the Holocaust and things like this. And she's bringing this up, which I don't talk about, but she's saying that in spite of this, that they did still celebrate. They still had their, beer fest. They still had their dancing. They still had their celebrating of life and their like bounty of the harvest. There's still things to celebrate in this life, even though there are tragedies and things going on around us. Uh, she had a very strong determination about herself. Um, but she said that everything in balance, everything in moderation. So I'm not sure if that means anything to you, Christine. She said, uh, it, it was not easy when we moved across the ocean.
yeah,
Wow.
but yeah. And what's interesting about that idea of moving across the ocean, your mother is wanting to make sure that there's heritage and traditions that came along, and they're different now. Oh, they came across in a hurricane, by the way.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh. Of course you did, Christine. Oh my gosh. No wonder she's talking about it. Oh wow.
Yeah. Um, but and I like how you were saying there seemed she wanted something. Um, she wanted you to have a sense of normalcy. She wanted you to realize, that although things are difficult, things still go on. You need to do the the the, okay, tradition is extremely important. You always do things at a certain time. You always do them because that's important. She was a stickler for that, and if now she's doing this, it's like, and if it didn't happen, it was very concerning. So
She was a Highland dancer, or Christine was a Highland dancer. Wow.
okay.
Beautiful. I think that takes a lot of ankle movement, doesn't it? Um,
Yeah, that's incredible. Any other messages?
Yeah, I do feel like she wants to talk about because Christine, I saw that you had another question in there about the hurricane, and then when you found out we were doing mediumship, you wanted to talk to your mom. But I think that it was no coincidence that you said that when you came across the ocean, that it was in a hurricane. And it's almost like your mom is saying, you've lived through these tragedies before. She's lived through, humanity has lived through. We will carry on. We will forage, like, continue on. And she's saying that there is this determination that your mom had, that that she passed down to you and will loan you if and when you ever need it. and she said to not to worry, to have faith, and she said it'll help you. It'll assist you in times of need. Is what she's saying. This faith.
She's also indicating that it's helpful for you to be patient and to allow things to come in the right timing. I don't know if she did any gardening or something like that, but she's talking about the need to wait for the right time to do certain things. Things will line up, and you can be smart about that. So,
Yep, absolutely. And I think that she also says that you can connect with her. I don't know, Christine, if you use a pendulum, but she's saying that you can connect with her, whether you use any kind of a card deck, whether it's an oracle card deck or a tarot card deck or a pendulum. She said that she is able to connect with you, and she wants you to reach out to her for this sort of like she's got your back, but she wants you to have this reassurance if you want to give it a try. She's there for you. Hmm. Yeah. Um, but she says that makes sense. Good. Good.
Christine, if you have a picture of her, um, get it out, look at it, clean it off, and you talk to her all the time. That's perfect. That's perfect, because um, there feels a connection already. It doesn't feel like this is something weak, if that makes any sense to you. So that's good. I'm glad you have that, and that's beautiful. But get her a beer or something like that. Sorry, I don't know if she drank beer, but I'm just seeing her with a Guinness. So who knows?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome.
She wants you to celebrate it where and when you can. And she wants you to know that you're a strong woman and that you have the same determination that she does and that you've been through it before and you can get through it again. And she's really just a beautiful, loving cheerleader type of energy that is, chin up and reminding of us all. She's reminding me of my strength. And just think of the Clydesdale and how strong and how regal that this symbol of Scotland is. And she wants you to be proud. Very nice. Very nice.
And
So
and you have great ankles too, Christine. So
she said her dad was more about the Guinness. So maybe that's what she's referring to. That your dad is
there
with
you
her.
go. I
Yep.
love that. Okay.
Yep. You're welcome, Christine. All right, so let me see. I'm going to be choosing the next question. Okay. Um, Let me go with Venus and um, Cindy. If you say that you would like a message from your loved ones, please give us the name and the relation of one person that you would like. See how Venus said her dad, Bobby? Just if you wouldn't mind putting it back in, Cindy, and I'll watch for it. All right. So Venus says, any messages from her dad, Bobby?
Venus, was your dad Bobby a smoker?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She said
Okay.
yes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, because immediately it was he was always having a cigarette in his mouth, having a cigarette dangling. And he sometimes liked to wear braces or suspenders. And he did care. He cared about the way he looked because he wanted. Oh, he was a chain smoker. He cared about the way he looked, and he because he didn't want people to misjudge him.
Mm.
He was smart enough to understand that people consider the packaging important and not what's inside. So he knew that. He knew that. So okay, so we've got Dan, Bobby.
He has a lot of love for you, Venus, and he wants you to know that you were like a a bright spot in his day. I feel like he always looked forward to coming home and seeing you, and that you would run and jump into his arms, and like all of his worries would melt away when you did this. Um, I do feel as though he wishes he would have had more time together with you. I feel like he may have helped you not only when you were married or, during this time of your life, but I feel as though he didn't have do you have whether you have oh, he's a well-groomed man, she says.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I'm not sure if you have children, but he wanted to help you more and be around more. Um Oh, she said, "I felt that same way when he came home, that she would run and jump into his arms and that he was the bright spot in your day." But this is what he's saying, that the love that you had, the unconditional love that you saw past all of the worries and the difficulties and the stresses that he would bring home, and you would see right past that and say, "That's my dad," and you would run up and jump in his arms,
Yep.
and it would mean so much to him. It would change his whole energy from the worries and the difficulties of the job or whatever, and it would just make everything all right. And he's saying that you gave to him just as much as he was there for you. Um, but he wishes that he would have been around for you. And again, I'm not sure if you have kids, but it's like during this time in your life. Um, I do feel as though he was there for you when it was your time to be married. And then uh, um, he's just saying that he wasn't around much longer in his retirement years, that he had a lot more life and a lot more sharing with you. He was hoping for some more one-on-one time with you and the kids, or you and the family together, whether it's nieces and nephews or your own kids. He was looking forward to this time in his life, and I don't think that you had much time together after towards the end of his life. He wants you to know that he knows how much you miss him. He knows how much you think about him, and that you have all of the pictures, and that it's almost like you have this enthusiasm and this richness, like, oh, this is a picture of dad, and everybody else is like, yeah, that's dad, and you're like, no, this is dad. Like, I have a picture of him. There was a very special bond between the two of you, and he loves that you cherish and think about him and hold him in such high regard in this phase while he's on the other side. He just wants you to know that he is still watching over you. Um, so, do you have kids there, Venus? Do you know, or would you tell us that? Because he's saying that the time that when you were married or having kids.
Mm.
Oh, I know. It's you, the pets that might be. Oh, uh, someone just gave me a picture of him and I was so happy, but my mom wasn't.
Mm.
And it's okay. It's not that she wasn't. It was
Yeah,
it, for her. It was another picture, but for you, it was a picture. It was like
yeah.
something new that you hadn't had, and you hang on to that. No kids. Your dog. We just got a dog before he passed. Okay.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, I love this fact that somebody just gave you a picture of him. That's that thing that you talked about in the beginning, Gene, where spirit validates.
Mm.
So, Venus, I have no idea what this means. I'm just going to tell it. He wants you to read a book. He said he is like going, she needs to read a book. It's one that's around you, and you'll get some messages from him as you read it. And the title is not what you expect. So if you've got some books around you, he is actually saying, I mean, he's like when he wants you to read a book. He kept saying, read a book, read a book, read a book. And I'm like, okay, well, a little bit more would help, sir. And he's like, going, read a book, and she will get messages from me in that book. So I would be curious, Venus, if you're looking around and if something catches your eye, pull it out and start reading it. So
That's brilliant, Gerald, because it is often that they communicate with us through many different means, and they can it's almost like the same way you looked at that picture. It meant something to you, but not so much to your mom. But the the book and the writing or the poetry or the whatever this is that's in the book will speak to you, and it'll remind you of something that your dad once said, or it'll remind you of of just something that reminds you of him. You know, I it's a strange thing. I want you to know I am not a normal person, and I don't I claim to be. And you have to, I think we all have our little idiosyncrasies. But I used to play solitaire, and I used to play solitaire with real cards. And I used to hear life lessons and advice through the cards. And depending on where they were, they would say, you know, through perseverance, you will make it through, or something. Like I would hear these things from the deck of cards. And I told my dad, I must have been like in my 20s or some, and he just laughed, and I never pursued it. But it was my first communication with spirit
ah,
through
mhm.
a uh yeah, medium, through the solitaire deck. It was, oh geez, he made me say this. Your dad played solitaire too.
Yep,
That And it's no accident that this story came up for me.
yep. That's so
And it
powerful.
validates Gerald saying to get the book. And similar to the way I just told you that story, it'll resonate with you about
Mhm.
him. I'm getting chills head to toe. He's
Yep.
very creative. He's very creative.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yes, yes, yes.
Was there anything else that you had with Bobby?
No, I think he's happy that he's got I said read a book. So like, okay.
Yeah. Hello to everybody coming in. Jonathan, you'll have to watch back at the beginning. And Venus, you're very welcome. Sem is here. Sachet is here. And Sweetly Morbid Bear, do you know Venus? Are you two friends? Because Sweetly says that we were spot on. Not sure if you know Venus. You guys might be related or friends, but that's funny.
Mm,
Lisa Bowles is here. So nice to see everybody.
it's great to see everybody. Thank you. Thank you,
So
thank
did
you.
you want to pick next there, Gerald?
Yeah. I how about Emily Lorenz Bradley? Can I please have some guidance from my grandfather Julius and or my grandmother Rebecca? I've been struggling with feelings of despair and hopelessness from grief, and I need some help. Emily, are you still here? I'm sorry that you're struggling with that. Hi, Emily.
So let me just tell Jonathan, I in the beginning of the show, I showed a unicorn that spirit brought to me. So you'll have to watch the beginning of the show, Jonathan. You'll be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cindy. I see that. Thank you. Uh, Hi, Diana is here. So nice to see you. And Emily is here. She's saying
Yes.
hi. Okay.
Julius? Been dealing a lot with regret around feeling like I never got to connect with them.
Mm.
Julius, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking Julius is sort of he's a very stoic man. Sort of hard to get an impression about. He's and he's actually he's I think he's standing next to Rebecca. It's very interesting. It's like they were always seen together. Is that true, Emily? That they were typically together? I don't know. So
Yes.
stoic man. Okay. Yeah. So okay. Um, any messages?
You know, what I was picking up, different parents. Oh,
Different parents. They
okay.
did not stay. Okay. So okay. All
That's
right.
interesting that you, yeah. So what they're saying is because you didn't connect with them, they don't want you to feel bad. This is a conditioning that it's almost like, uh, guilt or imposed what you were supposed to do. There is no supposed to do. They were not meant to connect with you on a um, adult level, and they had their lives and they lived their lives, and it was everything happens for a reason, and everything that happened was meant to be. So because you didn't connect to them at when you were an adult, because they passed away sooner than you had the ability to, I do feel as though you're searching for your own history, your own past, your
Mm,
own identity, and you're looking for yourself in them. And they're saying it's not us that you're looking for. It is yourself. It is your a connection to your soul, to who you are, who you really are. They say that you can do some research on the ancestry. You don't have to do one of those kits if you don't want to, but you can do research and find out more about them. And they're saying that you can also connect with them spiritually, that they have guidance and advice for you on a spiritual level, that it's you don't have to feel bad. And they're saying that this is a conditioning, like you feeling bad because of something. It's okay to have wished you could have, but the feeling bad is that it's that part right there. It's you uh, putting a extra burden on yourself. That is a condition. They want you to let go of that feeling bad because of something. You can say, oh, I missed out on getting to know my grandparents, and that's okay. But the you feeling bad is a habit. I think you may have picked this up from other people around you, whether it's your family or friends. But you feeling bad does not, it really is like words are very powerful. They carry energy. You're putting this on yourself, so to speak. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying that sometimes when we have these phrases and we talk about things like this, it really makes us feel a heavier burden, rather than having a wish that you would have gotten to get to know them and maybe do some ancestry, or maybe do um, and psychic work with them, and do write them a letter and say, this is me. I want to get to know you better. And what advice do you have for me in my life at this time? But they do want you to work on being kind to yourself, and paying attention to the language that we use. And I know it's just secondhand for you. I know that you don't mean that. But I mean, I know you don't mean it in that way, but sometimes our words or our language that we use carries weight to it as well, or carries a burden with it. So see if there's a way that you can turn it around and look at it without that emotional charge, or without filling yourself with a heaviness, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah.
So,
Emily, I'm sorry that you're dealing with a lot of things. Part of, and as Jean is saying, wanting to connect with Julius and Rebecca, it's a way for you to understand where you are in the world. And if you can find out any stories from your mother, because you had mentioned from your mom, um, part of what I'm feeling is if you can, I don't know if your mom wants to talk about them, um, but if you can find out like what they drank, if they were a tea drinker, a coffee drinker, or something like that, there is an opportunity for you, Emily, when you want to have this connection. You can sit down and you can pour, let's say Julius drank his coffee black. You pour a cup of black coffee and you sit down and you think of and you talk to and you go, I'm a firm believer, Emily. There are ancestors who have been through what we've been through, and they want to help us to succeed. We have to be willing to ask for the help and be willing to listen to the response. And so I think this is an opportunity. I love that idea of that Jean had of writing some things down. What advice do you have for me? I think that's really helpful. And I will also say, uh, um, if you're dealing with a lot of that, a lot of depression, things like that, um, don't forget to I mean, there are professionals who can give you assistance, and it's okay to ask for help. Because Emily, what you're doing is you're wanting to ask Julius and Rebecca for help. That's great. Don't forget to ask the people around you and professionals who can also provide some support. So,
and maybe this is what their Julius and Rebecca will be, is they're nudging you
and you,
towards,
yeah, she says they do. Emily said, I do ask. Good for you. Good, good. But I
Yeah.
have a feeling for you, Emily. Things are how to say that. Things are starting to shift a little bit. The energy feels like it's moving and shifting. So be willing to shift along with it. So,
Yeah, you're going to come out of this for sure. That the energy is changing, Emily, and they just want you to be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself, and to be able to let go of some of the things that you tell yourself, or things that are recurring in your things you might be going over again and again, whether it was an argument you had with somebody, or whether it was a job that you lost, or whatever it is that is going over and over again in your mind. They want you to be kind to yourself, that it doesn't serve anybody to keep beating ourselves up and putting ourselves down.
mhm,
It's really important to change that
yeah,
perspective and the language around that, and start, it's you, you're it's be kind to yourself and to search for the answers within yourself, is where you'll find it. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Emily.
Thanks.
We
Yeah.
appreciate you being here. All the best to you, and thank you again. Oh, what did she say? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, just ask. Just say, how good can it get?
And I'm a
Mhm.
person who I'm just like going, frame, words matter. So frame it and say, life is better. Life is good. And then start noticing the ways life is good, the small things. Makes a big deal. Makes a make it it has an influence around you.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some work there, for you, Emily, but you are strong and you will persevere. And it's such a feel like the lessons and the relief and the enlightenment that you'll find on the other side of the work that you'll be doing is well worth it. So there is a light at the end of this for you there, Miss Emily. All the best to you. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. Yeah, everybody's being so supportive to Emily. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for all of your kindness and your support for Emily. Um, so I see Cindy in Encinitas here, and she says, she wants to check to connect with her grandmother, and her grandmother's name is Jean. And what it says, my mother's grandmother's name. Oh, your mom's mom. Okay, I see what you said. Here she is. Check with my mom's mom.
So your grandma. Yep.
Hmm. She said we need to stick together because I'm like, what are all these genes coming through for? She's like, we need to stick together. She's saying there is a vibration within our names, Cindy, and she wants you to remember that you were named Cindy, and I don't know if they called you Cindy or Cynthia or whatever they call it, whatever it is. There's a vibration and a frequency in our names, and there's a purpose for our names. She's also saying that I feel like you did get to know your grandmother. I feel like your grandmother was close with your mom. Like I'm not sure if she lived with you for a while, or if you lived with her when you were younger. There's something about sharing under the sharing household. She's saying you were under the same roof. So I'm not sure if there was two different dwellings, but she's saying you were under the same roof for a time. I'm not sure if you and your mom took care of your grandmom, or if it was when you were young you were with your grandmom. And she's showing me like in the 1950s when she used to wear like these sleeveless tops and these sort of like, I don't know, ankle pants. And you guys would go to the beach or walk on the boardwalk, or she's showing me that she used to tease her hair. Her hair used to tease up, and she was like, not a fashionista, but she looked good and would wear smart clothes. And she's saying that this was a beautiful time in her life, and it was like after the wars were over, and it was like that golden age in the mid-century modern. She's saying that she's saying, but looks can be deceiving, that there was still a lot of rumblings under the ground. And she's telling me about that McCarthyism. And this is really strange that I'm coming up with all of this stuff with the loved ones coming through, telling me about these world affairs that I typically
Mhm.
don't tune into. Let me know if that means anything to you. Okay. She said that we were close. and she did. I'm not sure. Oh, she for a time she moved in with us. She's remembering that. And Newport Beach is where you used to go with her. She's showing, and the pedal pushers. Jill was saying, uh-huh. And she said, we have a Jewish blood and we don't know where it came from. Oh,
Okay.
interesting. Well, I don't know if we can. Let me see what Gerald has to say.
Okay. So here. Okay. So I keep getting from Jean something about burnt cookies. And so I don't know if she was an orphan. So Cindy, I'm just getting the sense of that she wants you to. I don't know if she baked cookies, she couldn't bake, or there was a period when she baked some cookies and they burned and it was just like a big thing and it smoked up the house. But she's indicated this multiple times, Cindy, something about burnt cookies. So I don't know if what advice she might have is learn to bake cookies differently than she did, maybe when I was small. But she keeps talking about these cookies and having and eating the corners of them, the burnt part. And it's just a very happy memory for her. So, so there you go. That's weird. So,
Yeah, Cindy, you might find out a lot of things from your ancestry as well. I'm getting it's from her father, who she never knew, and that the Jewish ancestry came from her father, not her mother, but she never knew her parents. And yeah, you might find out. Is your grandmother Jewish? I don't think so. I don't think that. I mean, I think that you said that you have that blood, but I think it came from her father. But is she Jewish? I don't know if that would.
hmm.
I think that she would have the blood, but I don't know if she practiced. You know, I'm not sure. Like she may not have realized because she never
Yeah.
knew her father, and that you discovered. I don't think that she ever knew that there was Jewish blood and that she was Jewish. Not no, not from your dad's side, from your grandmother's father. Your grandmother was an orphan. Her father, who she never knew, had the Jewish blood. Her mother, that she never knew, it didn't say that she had the Jewish blood. But so the Jewish blood came from your grandmother's father, who she never knew. And so um she, oh, 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 let's see. Did it come? I think it came from her father. I don't think it was from a let me just make sure. So Jean, was this somebody in your life that resulted in a child in the no, she's saying no, it was her father. Um you so Jean's mother, yeah, I'm not, I think that's what that means. Um but I don't think that she had relations with somebody that resulted in the Jewish blood. I think it was her father's Jewish blood.
Hmm.
How about you, Gerald? Do you have anything else from Jean that is pertinent for Cindy?
It's very interesting because I'm not getting a whole lot from Jean other than these cookies. She keeps pulling these cookies out of the oven and they're burned. So I have no idea. So but
Maybe that's in today. Maybe she's talking about Cindy to keep an eye on the cookies that she makes. Make sure that she doesn't burn anything. Make
me.
sure she keeps an eye out. Um,
And I was doing my pendulum and you had talked about Cindy's or Jean's father being Jewish. I sort of got yes with that. Because that right, that's what you were saying. It's her great grandfather that she
Mhm.
doesn't know because her mother was an orphan. So,
Mhm.
but oh, Cindy, that's a good idea. I hope it comes through in a dream or something. Yeah. So, hmm.
I don't think your mom's mom, I don't think Jean ever saw herself. I mean, yeah, she was an orphan. Yeah, she didn't know her parents. Yeah, she had to, grow up in the social system, but she never thought of herself like that. She was very much her own person and just took life for what it was and moved forward. She didn't look back. She wasn't um she didn't reminisce about those times. They were just not times, that there was just an unknown about that. I feel like it was almost like whoever took care of her were her parents and grandparents, that it was something that she may have wondered about, but she didn't identify with that. It wasn't the first thing that she would tell people. Um, she grew up in a convent and she was too little. Okay.
Mm.
Uh-huh. Um, um, Yeah, she's a strong woman. She's a very, very strong woman, and she just actually had several sisters that, and she didn't know. Wow.
Okay.
Yep. Interesting. Well, that's a whole thing there, Cindy. So thank you so very much. I really enjoyed connecting with Jean, and she's an amazing soul. She loves you very much, and she really remembered those heydays. She it was like the time of her life is back in the 50s, when even like the sunglasses and the little scarves that you would wear, and the
Mhm.
and the sleeveless shirts, when I think they were new. I don't know if that's 50s or 60s, and those pedal. I just see her like really being decked out and enjoying her life. She was a beautiful woman, and she had
Mhm.
such courageous energy. Oh, she's
Mhm.
psychic.
Yeah.
Oh, and Cindy's saying that's her. Do you have a picture of her like that? Because it's really coming through. I mean, I can see her.
Mm.
But you could have a picture of her like that.
100%. There you go.
Excellent. Well, that's just her coming through and validating. So hopefully, I thank you very much for bringing her with us today. So,
Mhm.
Gerald, how about you? Do you want to pick next?
Sure. Um, but like I still want cookies. So it's just I mean, it was so weird. This was all I was allowed to see. I'm looking, okay. Ms. Sherlock, question: what advice does my late friend Ike have for me to be the best mother to Lucas? Will Lucas be self-supporting in 5 years? So if Ms. Sherlock, if you're here, that would be great. Let us know. And there's a lot of conversation about dreams being a good way to get messages from loved ones. So,
Just make sure you write it down as soon as you wake up, even before you get out of bed, if you can.
yes.
Put some pencil and paper by the bedside there.
Yeah. I'm not seeing Ms. Sherlock. Um,
And Linda Kennedy says, yes, that's definitely 50s. I have to, I don't know my, oh, she's here. She called it. She's here. All right. Is Was this her latest question?
yes, I
Okay.
went through and sorted.
Okay.
So,
Ike, that's a friend of Miss Sherlock. Ike, what is the message that you have for Miss Sherlock? Ike says that there are angelic beings taking care of Lucas. That there are he wants you to trust in the universe, in your in the spiritual realm. Call to the archangels, Archangel Michael, as well as your loved ones, are all watching over Lucas. I feel like he's guided and protected and very much loved and adored by many family members. And Lucas is saying, I mean, Ike is saying for you, Miss Sherlock, to trust and to it's not, you can't live Lucas's life for him. That you have control. You're holding on to the steering wheel too tight, and the spirit guides are saying we need you to release the control and allow us to help to guide the situation. If you are continuously moving the car this way, your spirit guide is sitting in the seat next to you saying, whenever you're ready, we can take over. But we can't help you unless you let go of some of the control and trust us that we can steer and guide this energy to the highest, to the most benevolent outcome. They're like, they're asking you, Miss Sherlock, to trust and to give it to the angels. Let go of the control that it's almost like based in fear, this control. You're afraid of what might happen, and they're saying that this is not good for you or for Lucas, that it's important for you to say, I trust in the most benevolent outcome, and I release all the fear to my angels and guides, and I will move through this world with faith and with hope, and with release the outcome. They're letting you know that it is your responsibility, but there's only so much that you can do here in this world. But they have it. They're like, we've got your back, Miss Sherlock. We've got Lucas's back. They want you to know that everything's going to turn out okay. How about you, Gerald?
I keep getting Ike feels very much like Ike appears to be a very nervous individual. I keep seeing somebody walking around and rambling and talking. And so he's saying a lot, and part of what he's saying is coming through what Jean is saying, the importance of letting Lucas live his own life, and the steering wheel, let go of the steering wheel, because he needs to go off a little bit so that he can get back, and he needs to do it. And she says he is so shy. Okay. But Ike is really talking about the importance of letting yes, this control is based in my fear. Okay. I understand that. It's also Ike is I don't know Ike, but did Ike wander around and talk really quickly? Because I see him in a gray sweatsuit, just sort of talking. And it's very much this thing of as Lucas is fine. I mean, he's a good kid. Let him fall down, and don't rush to pick him up. He's going to scrape himself. He's going to fall. He's going to do things that aren't the best. Just be able to let him. I've got so much of this energy. It's really fast. Really let him fall. Let him go out and make his own mistakes. Let him read his own books. Don't helicopter. Let him do his own laundry. Let him, make his own sandwich for lunch. I mean, he's got to learn to do it somehow. Your fear isn't Lucas's. Don't let Lucas glob onto that. I mean, there's this there. I mean, and I don't know if Ike is having anything. I mean, if Ike had some fears or, but Ike is like he's lecturing. He's really lecturing you, Miss Sherlock. It's like, let him do his own thing. Stop it. Quit it. Cut the apron strings. I don't know how old Lucas is, but he's got to do it. Yes,
Ike
I
would be
would be
intense, she said.
really very intense, and he's like going, let him do his own thing. Let him fall down. Let him just be there and be quiet and listen to him and talk, and let Lucas talk to you instead of you trying to force Lucas to talk to you. Just be around. Ask Lucas how his day was, and then when he says it was fine, okay, then ask him a different question. When not don't batter him with questions, because you're going to teach him paranoia instead of, yeah, it's okay. I mean, great, what was okay about it, and then stop. But boy, Ike is like going, quit it. It's like Ike needs to slow down on the coffee. Yes, you do need to let go. I mean, you can let go, but here's the great thing about it is Lucas already has a decent foundation. Let him solidify it. You celebrate what he does well. I could lecture you. Okay, great. Now I get to lecture you. So, but he's like going, tell the kid what he's doing right, and then let him go off and play in the neighborhood or watch video games or take a nap in the middle of the day for no reason. So, but I mean, it's just a lot of I mean, okay, okay. Summarize. You're taking on more than what you need to, Miss Sherlock. It's not yours to do. And I say this with all the love in that I can muster from Ike. Stop it. You have other things that you need to be doing with your time. There are other people that you can interact with. Yes, Lucas will be fine. Just, I mean, and by fine, he'll have a job, he'll have a place, he'll have relationships that are good and bad. So, okay. Thank you, Ike. You can go on.
You have a lot of support, and so does Lucas there, Miss Sherlock. They want you to trust and send prayers to your angels. And whenever you feel that intense feeling of control or anxiousness, just send it off to your angels and say, angels, please take this from me. I want to allow Lucas to live his life with love and peace, and I want to be able to feel rest assured that he will be okay. Please help me to achieve this, and hand this to the angels. Oh, she says she has a strong personality. That's okay. That's good. That's good. It's yeah.
And she said earlier, I was a general in many lifetimes. You're not a general in this lifetime. So pull that back. That's the last thing I'm going to let Ike say. That's an intense one.
Good, Miss Sherlock. She goes, okay, will do. I know you can make it through, Miss Sherlock. It's not easy, but ask for the assistance and you'll feel better. You certainly will. Every time it comes up, and it'll help you to dissipate that recurring feeling, that recurring, thing that keeps going over and over. Well, thank you, Gerald. This has been an amazing session of mediumship, and
Yes.
I really am so. I love our Saturdays together, or our time together when we do our mediumship shows, and it's beautiful to connect together and to help to develop the messages and the just the connections with the loved ones on the other side and how they come through differently. I love when I get certain aspects of somebody and Gerald gets something a little bit different. I love when that happens.
I do too.
And oh, you're welcome. And so Gerald, where are you going to be next, or what do you want to share with people if somebody would like to get a private reading with you? What's the best way for them to connect with you?
Send me an email to for if you are interested in a private reading. Like and subscribe to my channel because I do keep everybody up to date on what's coming. And like I said, I've got great shows coming up through the end of the month. So please do that.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yeah. And I would have to say the same because I have a lineup there. So if you want to just subscribe to the channel, Sun Psychic Jean, then you'll get the notifications and you'll be able to look ahead. I usually book my weeks out a week ahead, and you'll be able to see what's coming up. And the next time when Gerald and I are together, you'll get a notification. And if anybody's interested in a private reading with me, you can just contact me through my website. It's sunpsychicjean.com. And you can, there's all different offerings, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour readings, whatever. And there's spiritual journeys and past life readings, all kinds of stuff there. So go in there and see if there's anything that you like. And I really appreciate everybody being here. All of the supportive cast, all of the supportive roles here in the chat has been just priceless. I really do appreciate everybody being here and being so supportive. It's lovely.
Yes, I agree. It's been amazing. It's been amazing. So, here, everybody make sure that you like this video.
Is that your thumbs up?
Yes, give it a thumbs up.
That's so funny, Gerald. Well, thank you all very much, and we'll see you again next time. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you enjoy this content, hit like, share, and subscribe. Remember to click the bell to be notified of future videos. Thanks again.